Hi, you guys. Welcome back to another episode of the New Day with Natalie podcast. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about what avoidantly attached people secretly feel during no contact, but will never admit. This is going to help you a lot to understand what your partner is going through or what your ex is going through, and will help you figure out if you want to just move on or if it's the right time to reconnect and talk to your ex or your partner once again. Maybe you just went through a breakup and your avoidantly attached ex dropped a line on you like, I just want you to experience life. I just don't think we should be together. They might have said to you like, this just isn't fair to you, our relationship. Like, I want to give you more energy and time that you like deserve, and I just can't give it to you right now. Whatever they told you, they walked around the point of the conversation, which is to say, I am breaking up with you. They never said that. They just said, it's not you, it's me, and you deserve the world, and I can't give that to you. So they dropped you, and now you are so heartbroken, you're all alone, and it's extremely painful because you probably imagine the rest of your life with this person, and now you have to basically rewrite the entire script and start from square one. And going back on the dating apps in this day and age sounds like an absolute nightmare, and trying to find people out in the wild can be extremely challenging. It can be scary and uncomfortable. So you're like, great, I don't want to do this. So you might have gone online and found, okay, the best thing I can do is go no contact. Stop talking to my ex, stop reaching out to give them space, because you might understand avoidantly attached people need space to thrive. So you're thinking, okay, if I give them space, they start thriving, they'll come back to me, right? Well, maybe that does happen a lot in one way or another, but in today's video, let's talk about what exactly your avoidant partner or avoidant ex is thinking and feeling secretly while you execute that no contact strategy. First of all, right after the breakup, if you like stop talking right after the breakup, right after they drop that line to you, like, I just want you to experience life and be happy. And you're like, I was happy with you. Like, what are you talking about? The minute they dropped that line and you were done talking to them right after the breakup, your avoidant ex was very happy. And you probably already know this if you've done your own research, but avoidantly attached people can very easily compartmentalize you into this tiny little box in their mind and then put a lid on it and then never look at it again. It's like they can function and operate and live a joyful life and have that little box in the corner of their mind and not have to look at it, not have to pull it out like you do every day. Like, actually, in your mind, you've never really compartmentalized it. Like, the relationship and all the happy memories you've had with your ex is at the forefront of your mind. You've never put it away. You've never tried to move on. And maybe you have, but you failed. So for your avoidant ex, it's much easier for them to move on and be happy because they've put the lid on that memory and it's gone. You know what I mean? You have those little storage bins, and like Christmas is done for the year. You put all the decorations into the box, you put the lid on, you put it in the attic or in the closet or wherever you put your decorations, and you don't look at it until next year. You don't think about it. It's just like, it's gone. I'm not going to take out the Christmas tree. That was a pain to get out. I'm just done. So that's kind of what your avoidant ex is feeling and thinking, right? They're not thinking about you. It was a moment in time, and now it's the past. And so why think about it? Avoidantly attached people tend to distract themselves as well from experiencing emotions, and they do that by basically stacking their schedule so that they are so busy that they just avoid thinking about you, or they avoid feeling anything for you, or they avoid experiencing the mourning of a loss from the relationship that was so great at one point in time, okay? As you know, it's like if you have such a busy schedule, sometimes it's hard to actually cry. It's hard to like feel your emotions because you have all these other things going on. But the secret is, or maybe not really a secret, if you stack so many things on top of each other and never process anything, you will explode one day. There will be something so like tiny and minimal that happens in your life that will all of a sudden drive you over the edge, like make you explode, make you scream, make you cry, make you storm out of a room. And so this is typically what can happen to an avoidantly attached person, except they might do it in private so that no one sees. Here's the thing, when an avoidantly attached person expresses emotion or vulnerability, they look at themselves as being weak, as not being good enough. They view someone that has to experience emotion as someone that can't handle hard things, can't take care of themselves. And so what they do is suppress all of those emotions so much that they never have to experience emotions, and then they never have to experience pain that comes with emotion. Pain such as feeling weak, feeling less than, feeling like, they're not good enough, like they don't fit in. The reason why they suppress their emotions is because at one point in time in their childhood or like early adult years, they had a very negative experience with emotions or with being vulnerable, okay? And so they realize, I don't want to feel that again. All right. And so I will do whatever it takes to protect myself and stay away from those situations that I'd have to experience that pain and that shame and that feeling of being weak and guilty and all the negative experiences. They never want to do that again. All right. So some examples of a negative experience they could have had with emotions or being vulnerable is being rejected for showing emotions. Maybe in a past relationship, maybe to their family members, they expressed their love and they were shut down. Maybe they were rejected by a past lover. Maybe they were abandoned by a family member. Everyone's story is different. It can happen on a lot of different scales, okay? Another example is maybe the avoidantly attached person was seeking out emotional support from someone that they trusted or leaned on or just respected, and they were shut down, or they were told, I'm doing something else, I can't help you right now. Something like that can really make someone feel like they're stupid for being vulnerable and being like, I need help with something. Like, I can't do it on my own. Can you help me? And then if the person looks at you in the eye and is like, yeah, like, I'm not going to help you. Like, you're either stupid, I'm just too busy for you. Like, go figure it out. Or like, why would you even ask that in the first place, you dumb person? Like, that's how it can feel to someone that's reaching out, asking for help. So if you've experienced that, or if an avoidantly attached person has experienced that, their immediate thought is, okay, I'm never going to do that again. Like, that's a no-no. I'm not stepping into that world. I don't want to let myself feel that pain or that embarrassment again. Or another example is if the avoidantly attached person ever expressed emotions to someone that they loved or cared about or trusted, and the person that they expressed emotions to either didn't reciprocate or they just made the avoidantly attached person feel like something was wrong with them, then the avoidantly attached person will never do that again either. So like that could be like, I'm really scared about this meeting I have and I just don't know how I'm going to do. And if it goes bad, I could lose my job. I'm so nervous. And if they said that to someone, and maybe it was a partner in the past, and the partner was like, why are you scared? That's so stupid. Like anyone could do that. Just kind of belittle you and make you feel like you're dumb for even having an emotion. Again, that can make an avoidant feel really shitty. So they're like, you know what? I'm never expressing any of my emotions again. I'll never be vulnerable again. I'll just shut off all emotions. And then that way I won't get hurt. And there won't be any possible chance of being rejected or misunderstood or left all alone or to feel shameful. They're just protecting themselves so much so that they don't have to experience pain. Now, the thing is, avoidantly attached people, and I'm kind of going in a circle here, but avoidantly attached people, avoidantly attached people can have an avoidant attachment in a variety of relationships. In fact, I did have a recent series that we did on this podcast where we talked about the avoidant attachment style in friendships, family relationships, coworker relationships. And so go check out that series if you are interested. But the reason why we notice avoidant attachment so much in romantic and intimate relationships is because we are so emotionally intimate with our partners. You're not emotionally intimate with your boss. You're not emotionally intimate with your best friend. Like you share things with your best friend, but you're not sharing all your deepest, darkest secrets and trusting your friend with your life and sharing finances and just doing all the things. You don't do that with your friends. It's a different type of relationship. Your romantic relationships are the deepest type of relationships you will experience. And it's very similar to the deep relationships you have with your family members when you were growing up, because they were the only people that made you feel like you were safe. They were your caretakers. They were your guardians. They were the people that you went to when you had any problem. So it's obviously a much different type of relationship, but you'll notice it a lot more in your romantic relationships. And the reason why avoidants act like they do in their adult romantic relationships could also be because of how they acted in their childhood family relationships. With all that said, avoidantly attached people, because they are self-protecting themselves by ending the relationship with you, they're happy. They finally feel safe. They kind of are relieved and they feel in control because now it's like they have their freedom again. They can do what they want again. They don't have this threat of you possibly making them feel shitty for something or make them feel rejected or unwelcomed or not understood or just all the negative things. So it brings a lot of peace for your avoidantly attached ex, okay? So when you're in no contact with them in the beginning, they are happy. They're happy right when the breakup happens. Now, what about when you guys were actually dating? And the thing is, this can be something you don't necessarily want to hear if you were truly in love with your partner, which I'm sure you were, but avoidantly attached people tend to emotionally disengage from your relationship, but physically remain in the relationship with you in order to self-regulate and to protect themselves. So if they're not emotionally deeply invested in you, if you break up with them, if you do them wrong, if you make fun of them, if you make them feel rejected or misunderstood, it doesn't hurt as much if they're not like super invested in you, right? So like think about it like this. You know, when you have a really, really strong crush, maybe it's your avoidant ex, right? And they are your world. But if some other person came along and was like, hey, how's it going? I don't like your outfit. It wouldn't make you feel really shitty because one, they don't know you and it's like, why are you even saying this? It's totally random. But if the person that you looked up to and loved and trusted looked you in the eyes and said, you look terrible, your outfit is not flattering, why are you wearing that? It would make you feel extremely shitty. And in order to self-protect yourself, you actually might become a people pleaser and start changing the way you look to make them like you more. But in reality, it hurts more because you're so invested in that relationship. Here's the thing, your avoidantly attached ex emotionally disengaged a long time ago, way before they actually broke up with you. And that's why it's so easy for them to just immediately go out and enjoy life after the breakup versus you and how long it takes you to process and just get over them. It takes months or years. And for the avoidant, it's a lot faster, or so it seems. When they emotionally disengage from the relationship, they're basically internally mourning the loss of the relationship, even though they're physically still with you. And so that's why you're mourning the loss right now, fresh out of the breakup, but they have already done that a long time ago. So it's like different timelines, if that makes sense. Then all of a sudden you might notice your avoidantly attached ex start to maybe watch your stories. Maybe they're not posting as much on their social media. You might just notice a change of behavior in the virtual world. Okay, so typically this is when the avoidantly attached person starts to have a sad, lonely night where they feel like they are seeking connection. They want to be with someone. It doesn't have to be romantic. They just want someone to understand them because that's something that they don't have. So what they typically do is watch your story, and that could be a simple, view to your story. It could be a simple heart on your story. It could be a like to one of your posts, a comment, something like that. Or they could respond to your story and say something like, oh, this is so cool, or just like something so simple and so low effort. But to you, it probably will open your eyes super wide and make your heart start pounding and make you wonder, they're back? Like, wait, what is happening? They're back after everything they put me through? How is this even happening? And so that can be extremely frustrating from your perspective. But again, we're focusing on the avoidantly attached person's perspective. This is, again, during no contact. They haven't reached out to you and you haven't reached out to them for a specific amount of time. And so when they feel lonely, they have this urge to see what's going on with you because they don't know what your updates are. They don't know what's going on in your life because you guys haven't talked. But here's the deal. If you post a ton on social media or online, you're basically giving your ex like a free pass essentially to know exactly what's going on in your world. And now they have zero reasons to reach out to you because you've just posted your entire life online. So if you posted like, oh, I had this for dinner, I went on this trip to Colorado, and now I'm just chilling outside laying by the pool. Well, why would they reach out to you and be like, well, what's new with you? What have you been up to? Because they already know you went on your trip, you're laying outside, and you went out for dinner. Like, they know, all right? So when they're having the sad, lonely night, you'll know it, because if they just watch your story and you're already posting a ton online, it's simply because they seek connection. They are not necessarily as interested in what's going on in your world. They just want connection because they're sad and they're lonely and they're all by themselves, and they've pushed everyone away in order to self-protect themselves. I know when they do reach out in any way on social media or even over text, it's gonna hook you like no other. You'll feel this like jolt of hope, like, oh my gosh, they're back. Everything's gonna be normal. I'm gonna be okay. And your brain will just light up with adrenaline, with validation, with purpose. You're going to feel like you're $1,000,000 again. And it just feels great from your perspective, okay? But I just want to remind you that from the avoidantly attached person's perspective, it's not necessarily about rekindling the romance that you once had. They're reaching out to you in such a minimal, low effort way is simply just to feel connection, to not feel so lonely, okay? So in that moment, what they're feeling and what they're thinking is, first of all, how will you react? They want to know if you are positive with the reaction. If they respond to your story, send you a message, and you say nothing, that would be a negative response to their, reaching out to you. So that could kind of be a turn off to your avoidant ex. Now, if you respond back in a positive way and you're like, oh yeah, like this was a great dinner, or like thanks for pointing that out, or just something stupid like that, I don't know, then they would see that you were very positive in your response. So that's more inviting to someone that did the breaking up and kind of broke your heart. So they're trying to see like, what are we working with here, okay? But again, I want to remind you, a lot of times it's not because they are seeking romance. It's because they are seeking connection. They are seeking someone that they can just talk to and not feel so alone, and just get out of their head and just be with someone, because you understood them and it was easy to talk. It was easy just to hang out until it wasn't. And at this point, since you guys had so much time apart and you guys haven't talked for such a long time, there's a lot to catch up on, number one. And number two, they finally feel like they're not so like claustrophobic. They don't feel this extreme pressure because you're not dating. So they feel like, okay, I can just be with you as a friend. And friendships are a lot like, it's low pressure friendships, okay? You don't have to see each other every day. You don't have to talk on the phone every day. You don't have to take each other out on a date all the time. You don't have to be there for like emotional support every day, every hour. You don't have to text all day long, say goodnight, say good morning. Like, friendships aren't like that. Maybe some of your friendships are, but like typically that's not exactly the normal frequency. The avoidant is now viewing your relationship as less threatening, and to them it makes them feel safe to return to you, seek the connection that they truly loved, and leave the romance in the past. That's one route that your avoidant ex could take, okay? And secretly, again, this is the big secret, they're reaching out to you not because they're in love with you and they messed up and they should have never broken things off. No, they're reaching out to you because they're bored and they want connection. That's it. I know that's hard to hear sometimes, but sometimes you just have to hear it. Let's talk about a couple of reasons why your avoidant ex would not reach out to you. So if you guys are in no contact and it's been months and they just have said nothing, you've said nothing, the reason why is because they don't want to feel weak, they don't want to feel vulnerable, and they don't want to feel wrong. So if they do reach out to you and you're like, yeah, I don't want a relationship with you at all, friendship, romance, I don't want it, that's rejection. That's going to bring up a lot of negative emotions that, again, they do not want. That's why they ended the relationship in the first place. Also, if your profile, your, online virtual world profile, social media is basically saying like, I'm not over you, I listen to the songs that we used to listen to. I go back to the places that we used to go to. I'm still in love with you. They are not going to reach out to you because you're basically saying, if you reach out, I'm going to hook on to you like I did before, and we're basically going to pick up right where we left off. That is uncomfortable. That's threatening. That's scary. That is something that an avoidantly attached person will stay away from. That's why when you're in no contact, the best thing to do is try to move on. Because when you do that, if your avoidant ex returns to you and you have created like a new life for yourself, and you're really enjoying life without this person, you don't necessarily need them like you once did. If you guys do get back together, it's more of a healthy relationship. One last reason why they wouldn't reach out to you is because they don't want to risk being rejected by you. So sometimes they will just stay silent in that no contact era, if you will, and just disappear because that's what they're thinking. I don't want to be rejected. I don't want to be hurt. I don't want to feel pain. So I'm just going to do my thing over here. So the reason why they would do that is avoidantly attached people don't like being rejected. So to protect themselves from being rejected, they make themselves unrejectable. How do you do that? Well, you do the rejecting first, or you emotionally disengage so that if the other person rejects them, they aren't hurt. It's like I said, they're not invested enough to feel anything, you know? Avoidantly attached people will tend to suppress their emotions so much in order to feel like they are in control. Because when they are in control, they feel like no one can hurt them because they've strategically picked everyone in their life. They've strategically picked the activities that they decide to engage in, and they have a schedule that they're used to, and there's not a lot of things that could go wrong that could hurt them emotionally. So when they suppress their emotions for you, they feel like they're in control again because they're not falling in love and falling out of control because they don't feel a thing anymore. Emotional disengagement is essentially self-protection for avoidantly attached people. That explains a lot. What that will look like is they just distance themselves from you. They'll stop planning dates. They'll stop touching you. They'll stop wanting to connect with you. They'll just do whatever they can to not feel intimate to you in any way. Okay, just a couple of heads up. If your avoidant ex does reach out to you during this no contact era, maybe they're seeking connection, maybe they just want to know your updates, this is what I want you to be aware of. It could be a casual friendship that they are trying to create. So just be aware of that and know if that's going to hurt you, maybe set some boundaries, okay? Also, if you do respond positively to them when they do reach out to you, then they will feel safe and potentially want to open up more. So again, be aware of that. And then finally, when you don't apply pressure or don't threaten them, they will feel a lot more safe to continue showing up in your relationship, but this rekindle will happen very slowly. No pressure and no threats basically means you are not forcing them to date you, you are not forcing them to marry you, you are not threatening them like, okay, you know what, if you can't go out with me on this day, then I don't want to go at all. Like, you're being easy going. It's like, you know, it's fun just to be together and just hang out. And so that's kind of the vibes you're going for. If you have a very specific relationship issue or you want to share your relationship story with me and you need my advice, feel free to sign up for a one-on-one video coaching call down below. I also wrote a book, How to Get Over Your Avoidant Ex and Become Securely Attached. I will leave a link for that one down below. It's on Amazon. Paperback, I have an ebook. I also have an audiobook as well. If you're in the phase where you want to win back your avoidant ex, I also have a book on that topic as well. And I will leave a link for that one down below. So that is it for today, you guys. And I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.